What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Scuderia Ferrari HP driver career mode. Yes, that's right. The update has dropped. A few changes, but the biggest one is that we are now properly sponsored out. As you can see there, Scuderia Ferrari HP. So, yeah, you can see on the race suit there. Big blue logo. But yeah, car has felt great in practice, and I think the car looks great to match. Still don't prefer it over the previous livery, but it is what it is. Also, I was reading the patch notes. I believe that glitch with Anthony Davidson at the start of a race where he just keeps talking about the same thing has been fixed. So there's that, and then also another thing, it said AI will use ERS more effectively in order to make moves through the field and start creating gaps. So hopefully they won't bunch together as much, but we'll see. Let's jump into qualifying.
Welcome along, everybody, to Imola, just down the road from Ferrari HQ, and they know a thing or two about pace, and pace today is king. It's qualifying day, and it's great to have you with us.
Well, here we go on our first flying lap of qualifying, and I just learned the hard way that we have to use our battery on these laps as I watched the AI onboards to see if that was a thing, and I'm glad I did, because I would have been probably knocked out in Q1 had I not looked at that. But as I said at the start of this video, the AI are now going to use the ERS on qualifying laps as well. So I want to see where this lap will put us as we go a little deep into the very anti-alpha chicane. So we're going to drain the battery, heading down the hill towards the two final corners of the lap. Be nice and cautious and control the tire slip. So we get a beautiful run on the main straight, the RS wide open. That's going to put us P5. So I was right, even using the entire battery, still only P5, with Pierre Gasly behind us. So good lap from the Alpine. That should hopefully see us safely into Q2. Well, here at the end of Q1, George Russell tops the timing sheets for Mercedes. We're going to be 11th, 8/10 off of the Brit. No surprises out. Looks like Valtteri Bottas out by a very slim margin, about 0.04 of a second. Magnussen as well. So it looks like the bottom five are all very, very close. The entire lower half of the field actually looks to be all on very similar pace. But yeah, Logan Sargent, Nico Hulkenberg, Zhou Guan Yu, Kevin Magnussen, and Valtteri Bottas there. So both Alpines making it through, both are B cars, and Alex Albon in the Williams actually quicker than us, although only by 9 milliseconds, and he did do 2 runs. But yeah, let's move on to Q2. Well, this does feel like a decent lap that I would assume will get us through into the final part of qualifying for the top 10 shootout, but I don't want to say anything for sure just quite yet as we now go into the final corner, as Fernando Alonso is going to go quickest. What will this time put us at? It's going to be 5th fastest. Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda quicker than us. So it looks like that's genuine pace because they're faster than Lando Norris behind us as well. So I'm hoping that will be enough to see us through, but this is turning into an ultra competitive qualifying session. Well, end of Q2, George Russell quickest once again, and Sergio Perez is going to be in second. But the big news here from Imola, Max Verstappen out in Q2. That's right, the championship leader, 11th on the grid, less than a tenth away from making it through. with Lando Norris, but Yuki Tsunoda and Esteban Ocon looking like they have some real pace this weekend. But it looks like the battle up front is going to be between Mercedes, maybe Sergio Perez, and the Aston Martins. I don't know if we have the pace this weekend to fight for pole, but we'll certainly try to finish at least on the podium or as high up as we can. Oscar Piastri and the McLaren also out, so more big news there. But yeah, I just am shocked that Max Verstappen was able to get knocked out. Don't know if he got held up on his lap in the final part of Q2 or something, but we progress on to Q3 and try to stick it on one of the top rows. Well, I'm just now realizing as I am editing this video that my mic was muted for these final laps of Q3. But yeah, this is my final run. I was only 10th quickest for my first run behind the Alpine, so not very good there. But I head down into turn 1 now. Get a decent run out of the chicane using a little bit of battery to get my revs capped out there down through the Villeneuve chicane. And now try not to lock up, having a little bit of problems with locking up all weekend, or at least through practice. But nothing happening on that particular occasion. So we go through the quick left-hander, down 2 gears. Then we head down the hill, quick right-hander, flat out. Then braking for Acqua Minerale. Up the hill, up towards the Variante Alta chicane, braking hard, but then easing off the brakes, launching the car over the curbs. Make sure you don't go wide on the exit. Got a little kick of oversteer on the exit of the chicane, but won't cost me too much time. So I head down into the penultimate corner, and then the final corner, little bit of squirt on the throttle, and then get it planted flat out, 2/10 up, and that lap is going to put us P9 at the moment. But let's see if Esteban Ocon can improve on his lap, and if he does, we will be starting at the bottom of Q3 and be starting right in the middle of the pack in P10. Well, there we go, here at the end of Q3. Lando Norris sticking on pole position by 4/10 from George Russell, so great lap from the McLaren there. But yeah, George Russell looks like he had fantastic pace all throughout the first parts of qualifying, but wasn't able to stick it on pole when it really mattered. Fernando Alonso starting 3rd, and then our teammate Charles Leclerc, half a second off of the pole time, but still only 4th. Then Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, Lance Stroll, Yuki Tsunoda, and then Esteban Ocon on the Alpine will be starting in front of us. We qualified P10th with not that great qualifying pace, so hopefully our race pace will be a little bit better, and we'll have Max Verstappen starting behind us as well. So let's see what we can do and jump into the Grand Prix.
Welcome to Imola, the spiritual home of Ferrari. But you don't need me to tell you that. Just look at the red-clad Tifosi in the grandstands. They're ready. Are you ready? For the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola, featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit, and its only DRS zone. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Hamilton, Perez, Stroll, Tsunoda, Ocon, Mr. Monaco, Verstappen, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Ricciardo, Gasly, Bottas, Magnussen, Joe, Hulkenberg, and Logan Sargent. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Now, you'll remember back from your racing days, Ant, working with the team and getting to know them is oh so important. And that's what this driver's going through at the moment. And I think one thing we are seeing with this driver at the moment is that they're very much embedded within the team. They know the team knows them, and it's working wonderfully. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you know, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers.
All right, I'm sorry, but I'm not listening to that again from Anthony Davidson. It's just getting to be too much at this point. But yeah, 32 lap race. We've got a good old medium to hard strategy, one stop. So let's see what we can do. See if we can start making moves up the field.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres.
Well, here we go. Everybody on medium tires besides the two McLarens, Norris and Piastri. We saw the same strategy from them in Miami.
We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
So, will that pay dividends to the McLarens once again? And will that allow Oscar Piastri to start moving up the field by having some fresher rubber towards the end of the afternoon? So we've got Esteban Ocon ahead of us, and we have the championship leader, Max Verstappen, in the Red Bull behind us. But now the Williams of Logan Sargent is going to line up back of the grid. Green flag waves. And it is going to be 5 red lights turning on here for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And it's lights out. And away we go. Not the greatest start from Yuki Tsunoda. Already getting passed by Esteban Ocon. And we've got passed by Max Verstappen already. We're going to go to the outside of Yuki Tsunoda. See what we can do. He's going to force us almost onto the grass here. So we're just going to go around the outside of a whole bunch of drivers. As that is us straight up into 5th place. Would you look at that? Straight past Lewis Hamilton. That was a perfect amount of braking there. So we just need to stay calm now and not make stupid mistakes like that, as Lewis and Perez are going to go by, and so is Lance Stroll. At least he's going to try. And he is going to clear us. So that was a literal perfect start from us. But now we're back, and we've lost 3 more places. So I just have to stay calm here, not panic. So I think Max Verstappen just got bogged down from that move we did on him. As I see, he's fallen back behind Tsunoda. So concertina effect is going to do us a favor here. So we can just manage our rubber a little bit. But we need to get out of the dirty air and this train that will start to form surely behind Lance Stroll. We need to do it very soon, as we're going to get a decent run out of the final corner. We're going to tuck into the slipstream, deploy a whole bunch of battery on the Aston Martin. So I don't know if we'll have enough engine power, Ferrari versus Mercedes power. So we just get onto the curb there. That's not going to be enough to clear the Canadian. But we're certainly going to keep at it. Oh, lock up there from, who is that? Can't tell. Lando Norris. Lando Norris, from the lead of the Grand Prix, absolutely bottles it going into the very anti-alto chicane. Would you look at that? So now that allows George Russell to lead the Grand Prix in the Mercedes car, and he'll be very happy about that. Lando Norris will be kicking himself, as that was a very shock mistake here on only lap 2 of the race. So yeah, surprise there from McLaren. Well, our teammate Charles Leclerc takes the lead of the Grand Prix now from George Russell. So Ferrari now leading at their first of 2 home races in the 2024 season. Down into 3rd gear as we go across the very anti-alto chicane. Try not to pull a Leclerc 2022 across there. So it looks like we have a titanic battle between Mercedes and Leclerc for right now, until we start moving up the field, if we are able to do so. But that means I would need to clear Lance Stroll. It is only lap 3, but that is 3 less laps we have to make moves up front near the end of the race as well. So we need to get this done here and get it done now. See, the problem with this is we're just stuck in a DRS train. So what that means is essentially Ocon has DRS behind me, Tsunoda has DRS behind him, and in front of us, Stroll has DRS on Perez, and Perez on the car in front of him, and it just continues all the way up the field. So the DRS eventually becomes just ineffective and obsolete because everyone's got it. So there's no advantage given there. So it is very important that we clear the DRS train as we just about get alongside Lance Stroll there. I know I had the pace to clear him, it's just a matter of when rather than if. Well, as we have a look down the inside into the very anti-alto chicane, I thought about it, and I certainly made it stick, as now we are up into 6th place behind the Red Bull of Sergio Perez. So we are now starting to see this car come alive here in Imola. But we are still in this DRS train, so job's not completely done. But hopefully when the pit window comes around, we could involve some strategy in all this going on. As George Russell now leads the race once again. So it looks like he's just scrapping away with Charles Leclerc.
Okay, mate, engine's running too hot. Engine is running too hot. Let's keep it a bit cooler for now, please.
Indeed it is, Mark. So that means down these straights we will need to tuck out of the slipstream of Sergio Perez. Like so that we are not in his dirty air. But that also cuts our straight line speed just a little bit by pulling out of the slipstream. We have more air resistance. And Perez will surely pull away from us as well if we are doing that, because he'll have a slipstream from Hamilton in front. But we'll only have to do it for a little bit until our engine gets cooled down properly. So we get a mighty run out of the very anti-alto chicane. Would you look at that? We get our front wing alongside his rear left wheel. And now we're going to head down towards the penultimate corner. Braking zone, little bit of contact there, I think. But we barge our way by the Mexican up into 5th position. Because now he's going to have a look on us again. Where's he going to go? He's going to go to the inside or the outside. He's going to go to the outside. And he's going to just breeze past us before we even have a chance to see which way he was going to go. And we are now back down to 6th place. So we're going to get another mighty run on Sergio Perez out of the Aqua Minerale corners. We're going to go around the outside of the Mexican, and now we're back up into 5th place. I got sick of waiting for a move down the main straight. Very clearly wasn't going to happen. But now we need to try to focus on defending at the moment. So we've been saving up a little bit of battery, but will it be enough? I don't think it will, as Checo is going to try to look for a move. We are going to try to hold the inside line. And he's not going to go for it. He thought better of it. So now it looks like we have officially secured properly this 5th position. There's still the train of cars in front of us. We'll have to clear. At the moment, Russell still leads from Charles Leclerc. Big moment there as we just went over the curbs, almost went in the back of Lewis Hamilton. Perez is going to try to go to the inside, but we're going to force him to go almost onto the grass there on the inside. Luckily, we were able to keep our place here. Can't be making too many mistakes like that. I almost went to the back of the Mercedes. Just had to take a little bit of evasive action here. The Red Bull seems to have superior straight line speed, but this DRS train is certainly not helping Checo out. So here we go, once again, get a great run into Variante Alta. Lewis is going to just squeeze us out there. Very close between the two of us. So we are all over the back of the Mercedes car coming out of the final corner. We're going to just deploy as much energy as we can. DRS wide open. And we're going to get up alongside the Mercedes driver. Is now, looks like George Russell is going for a move on Charles Leclerc. But what's happening? George Russell pulls... George Russell, has he got some issues? He is. George Russell has some issues after battling for the lead of the race with our teammate. George Russell out of the race. Wow. Would you look at that? George Russell is now out of the Grand Prix, which is going to mean it's a battle between the two Ferraris, Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso, for the lead of the Grand Prix here in Italy. So heartbreak for the Mercedes driver. Ooh, as we get a big old kick of wheel spin coming out of that corner. And now Fernando is all over the back of our teammate Leclerc, but we've gone from 10th to 3rd. So do we just have better race pace, a lot better race pace than quali pace? Or is this just a one-off? We'll have to see when we get to Monaco next time out. But we are now going to head down towards the final set of corners and look at how close Fernando's getting to Charles Leclerc. We are going to be in DRS range. Obviously not nearly close enough to make a move. But is Fernando close enough to make a move? As he's going to have the slipstream and DRS. He's going to try to go to the inside. Leclerc has to give him the space. A little bit of grass being kicked up there. And Fernando Alonso swoops past Charles Leclerc into the lead of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix here in his Aston Martin car. So absolute scenes. I'm sure the crowd will go wild. Can Fernando get his first win in such a long time? So it looks like now Fernando is pulling away from our teammate. His team want us to box this lap. We're going to get a decent run on our teammate Charles Leclerc. We're not going to have enough to go up the inside. So we just get all out of shape through the first chicane. So that's going to throw us back a little bit. But these two squabbling up ahead should bring us back into the fight. Can't be making mistakes like that though, once again. Well, I'm going to be boxing this lap, so can we pull off an undercut on Charles Leclerc? Not sure why the team wouldn't give him preference, since he is the leading car. But good news for us, I suppose. So we are going to come into the pits at the end of this lap for a fresh, shiny set of the hard compound tires. Mark there telling us not to speed in the pit lane, lest we get a penalty. We are going to try to recharge some battery throughout our out lap as well if we can. As Fernando Alonso, race leader, is coming into the pit lane as well.
Okay, forget the targets for now. We've got to focus on the pit stop.
We need to make sure this is a nice clean stop with no mistakes. And of course, it is a slow stop. 5.5 seconds. We're going to get jumped by Hamilton. Of course, classic Ferrari style. They screw up the pit stop. Yes, Mark, I noticed that. So now the current order should be Alonso, Hamilton, and then ourselves for the top 3 positions, unless Leclerc can come out ahead of one of us. Doesn't look like he will, though, on those old medium compound tires, but we'll certainly be pushing. So we can't lose touch with Lewis ahead, or else that could spell disaster for our chances at a win. I mean, 10th to 1st does sound a little ambiguous, or ambitious, excuse me, but we have seen it before, as our teammate Leclerc now comes into the pit lane. Might be a little close. This lap isn't really what I have needed it to be. So we head out of the final corner. It's full power down the main straight. 1.6 behind Lewis Hamilton now. So we're going to see a whole gaggle of cars come into the pit lane. Looks like it will be everybody in the pit lane besides the two McLarens on the hard tires, and our teammate Leclerc does manage to stay ahead of us. So big shocker there, but now, as we just get onto the grass, will he start to fight for the lead with the cars in front of him? And if that is the case, we should be able to catch up. But now we have Perez. Perez all over the back of us. So we actually go purple in the middle sector. So now we have caught up to Charles Leclerc, as I predicted, with this little bit of a battle happening. It looks like Fernando has a little more pace than the others throughout the second and third sector of the lap. But then he just loses it all again down this straight here. As we set the fastest out of the race with a 1:18.0. So we're able to hold that. That will be an extra point for us. And now it looks like Lewis Hamilton is going to go for a move, but he's just going to have to back out there. So at the moment, this is a battle for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. But it will turn out to be the top four positions. I'm wondering where Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri will come out.
That's Charles ahead of you now. You can't let them hold us up for too long, so let's try and get past as soon as possible and crack on. Push, push.
Alright, team want us to get past Leclerc, but no team orders it looks like. So if we're going to get past our teammate, we're going to have to do it fair and square. So I'm just trying to manage the tires a little bit as well in case we need a little bit of kick at the end of the Grand Prix. We're going to throw the car over the curbs. It can definitely handle it through the Variante Alto chicane. So we are all over the back of our teammate Charles Leclerc coming down the hill. Even in this DRS train, will it be enough to get past him? Already looking like we're gaining a little bit, deploying a slight bit more battery than him. And here goes Lewis Hamilton once again. Is he going to try to go for a move? Leclerc's going to hold the inside line, which is going to leave it wide open for us to swoop around the outside of our teammate Charles Leclerc. And Mark seems to be very happy with that, as we're up into net third now, as I believe one of the McLarens came in. Or no, they haven't yet. Excuse me. So Lando Norris does lead the Grand Prix as of now. Doesn't look like either of them will come out ahead of us, but they will have that fresher rubber and will want to be pushing aggressively and making moves throughout the field towards the end of the afternoon. As it seems to be getting a little cloudy. Team haven't reported any rain just yet. Now we've caught right up to the back of the 7-time world champion, Lewis Hamilton. Are we going to have enough to get a run on Lewis coming out of the final corner? We get a big old kick, a wheel spin. But look at that. Now we are going to try to go to the inside of the straight, which will then give us the outside line for the corner. Fernando's going to go defensive. Can we make it 2 for the price of 1 here in Imola? Yes, we just about do. Would you look at that? We take the net lead of the Grand Prix as Lando Norris has come in now, and he is way far back than what we are worrying about. And now Piastri, 16 seconds up the road, will not come out ahead of us either. So look at that. We take the net lead of the Grand Prix, currently second. So that is Oscar Piastri into the pit lane now, and we're going to whiz on by him. So now we are in the correct order. First place in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. We haven't held on to our fastest lap, though. I think Lando Norris might have just snatched that from us. Might be wrong. But I don't know if we'll have enough tires to do it. Maybe if we charge up our battery throughout this lap. We do seem to have a lot of pace in hand. So I'm just going to try to charge up my battery this lap and then push to go for the fastest lap once again. We need every point we can get, and it's definitely worth a shot. Well, here we go, up towards the line. Will this be enough for the quickest lap of the race? Yes, it will. Look at that.
That's a new fastest lap of the race.
So that was
Getting a teammate
2
behind,
tenths.
2.1 seconds.
2 tenths quicker than what we were able to do last time we set the fastest lap. So with a 117.8, that is going to give us an extra point. So at the moment, we are scoring 26 points. Not sure where Max Verstappen is, but he's surely not in the top 5. Can't really tell amongst the jumble of cars on the mini-map. But he's nowhere near us, I can tell you that much. But at the moment, we are definitely going to take a big chunk out of McLaren's lead. The McLaren cars seem to be making a little bit of moves. Piastri's down way out of the points. Whoa, as I just get onto the grass there, I was looking at the map, need to pay attention to the road. Oh, Oscar Piastri on those fresh medium tires now sets a lap about a tenth or so quicker than my fastest lap. Don't know if we'll still have the tires for it, but I think the fastest lap I set, I made a mistake into this corner we're going through now. So maybe we could charge up some battery and go for it again.
Okay, clear.
Oh, we got yellow flags out. Somebody has issues. Oh, it's an Aston Martin. Is that Lance Stroll? Well, I was wrong. It was actually the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso. We'll look here, and he's just unforced error. No cars around him. He just locks the fronts and goes off the track. So that has now brought Fernando out of the fight for the lead. He's now 11 seconds behind us. And so it looks like it is between Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, and Sergio Perez. I'm hoping that Charles will be able to get past on the straight here, since Lewis will not have DRS. I'm also going to go for another fastest lap run. I think I might not have the tires for it anymore, but can't really hurt, can it? So I'm just going to spend this lap. So we get oversteer. I'm just going to spend this lap charging up my battery, and we'll see what comes of it. So our teammate Charles Leclerc, here he goes, and he's up into second position. Look at that. So it is now a Ferrari 1-2.
Lap times are a little erratic at the moment. Let's try and close up the difference between them.
Team wants to set some more consistent lap times, but yeah, I was just saying, Ferrari now have a 1-2 at one of their home Grand Prix. So I'm sure the Tifosi will go wild over that, but it is not over just yet, as Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez are still.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
I will use that overtake next lap mark. I'm going to go for the fastest lap here. See if we can snag an extra point and take that fastest lap off of Oscar Piastri. Here we go, up towards the line. We're about 5 tenths up. Surely this will be the quickest lap of the race, and it is a 117.2. And that was nearly a perfect lap there, if I do say so myself, as now Perez, sorry, gets past Lewis Hamilton. So now Leclerc's still second, but the Red Bull is now third, taking it off of the Mercedes driver. So we now are on lap 29 of 32, so almost to the checkered flag. Just got to bring it home within the white lines. We do have 2 strikes for track limits, so hopefully nothing comes of that, but I'm not pushing too hard, so just bring it home nice and steady, and this win should be ours.
I'm afraid you'll be given a time penalty for that last incident, mate.
Oh, okay, so went over the curbs there on the chicane. Probably didn't need to do that, but we are 5 seconds ahead at the moment. Whoa, as we get a big kick of wheel spin out of the final corner once again. As Leclerc is now all over the back of Sergio Perez, it looks like. Are we going to see our Ferrari teammate make a move down into turn 1 at the end of the straight?
Somewhere on the internal combustion engine, be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. Oh, great stuff. You hit that target. Really good job.
Well, now we start.
Final lap. Push, push.
Okay, Jeff, thank you for saying that. Or Mark. Yeah, man. I made that mistake in China, too, I think it was, as Leclerc does swoop past Sergio Perez to take second place from him, but he's going to try to fight it back. Nothing in it for him, as now it is a Ferrari 1-2 here at their home race. I can just imagine the Tifosi cheering with all their might every time we go by the crowds in the grandstands, as we now only have a handful of corners to go down into Aqua Minerale for the final time of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Unfortunate to get that time penalty. It was nearly a perfect race for us. No contact, hardly any mistakes or anything. Now out of Variante Alto we come down the hill. Gonna deploy everything we've got left in the car. It's been a great race. We started 10th on the grid after a poor qualifying performance, but now we're gonna round the final corner with the fastest lap of the race. 6.5 seconds is the gap, and we win the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
So that is our first race win since the opening round in Bahrain, and we do get driver of the day. Of course, we started 10th, so unbelievable there.
They take the checkered flag then here in Imola in what has been another outstanding Grand Prix.
To come here and take victory as a team today on home soil was so important. You can see how much it means to them. The drivers there doing their part. The team's strategy was perfect as well. And the fans really embraced that. What a great atmosphere we had here today.
Well, right he is, as I'm sure the Ferrari fans in the grandstands are going insane.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Definitely a good look for HP as well. They're going to be happy with that as we now pump the trophy in the air. It's going to be a Ferrari 1-2 on home soil. It's been a while since that one's happened. And now the champagne sprays as Checo Perez comes home third. And it is going to be celebrations at Ferrari today.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are. The Grand Prix victory. And, yeah, it's just unbelievable here. Like I said, we did get that 3-second penalty, but we set almost a perfect lap with a 1:17.2. I don't think anyone else even got close to that, but man, Oscar Piastri recovered 13th to 8th, but Lando Norris, not sure what's going on there with him, but he finished 21.5 seconds off of us in the lead when he started on pole position. So, unbelievable from McLaren. I guess they tried to pull the Miami strategy, but same strategy doesn't always work on different tracks. So, yeah, like I said, Sergio Perez 3rd. Lewis Hamilton will be disappointed with 4th. Fernando Alonso at one point looked like he could win this Grand Prix, or finish on the podium at least. And he, of course, made that mistake into the Tamburello chicane, which dropped him down to 5th. Max Verstappen managed to just get up behind Fernando by the time the checkered flag waved from 11th to 6th, so good recovery from him. Then Lance Stroll, Piastri, like I said, Yuki Tsunoda, Daniel Ricciardo, another double points finish for RB. George Russell having that DNF as well, so heartbreak for him. But now that is going to put us in the standings 4th. And that's going to be a big chunk out of Max Verstappen's lead and Lando Norris's 2nd from both of us in the Scuderia. Constructors-wise, we take the lead of the Constructors' standings. Red Bull also moved past McLaren, so McLaren dropped down from 1st to 3rd. Shows how quick things can go wrong just in the space of one weekend. But Haas, still the only team not to score a point. But yeah, that is all for this video. It was an amazing race, feeling really confident. Next we go into Monaco, the Principality, the most prestigious race in all of motorsport. Can we win it? Can we get back-to-back wins and pick up our 3rd win in our Formula 1 career? We will see. But for now, that's all, and I'll see you guys next time out in Monaco.